She didn't fall in love. She walked into the enemy's arms. A nurse, a deadly secret. One hospital, hiding crimes too deep to bury. He thinks she's his girlfriend. She's actually his executioner. Love was the lie. Revenge is the mission. This is the new Nurse, Season 4. Enjoy. Christabel spent the whole night thinking about what Dr. Anslem told her at the restaurant. She knew she could never love a man like him. Everything about him reminded her of the darkness she wanted to escape from. But another thought entered her mind. If she could pretend to love him, she could get closer to him than anyone else. She could learn his secrets, see his private records, and maybe find a way to set the pregnant woman free. She knew it would be risky, but it was the only way to destroy the hospital from the inside. The next morning, she stood in front of her mirror, brushing her hair slowly. It's no longer about money. She whispered to her reflection. I don't care about the salary. I'm here for one reason, to end this evil. She imagined the day the police would storm the hospital. The day the gates will open and the women will run free. It gave her strength. She knew she had to play the role perfectly. If Anslem suspected her, she could end up buried like the last nurse who tried to resign. She had to be careful. That afternoon, she walked to Dr. Anslem's office. She knocked gently. Come in, his deep voice said. She stepped inside and he looked up from some documents. Nurse Christabel, he smiled. What brings you here? She sat down. About what you said at the restaurant. I've thought about it, she began softly, and I have decided to accept your proposal. I will be your girlfriend. Dr. Anslem's heart was filled with joy. You will? He asked, almost in disbelief. She nodded slowly. He stood up, walked around the desk, and hugged her tightly. Christabel, he said with a warm voice, you've just made me the happiest man alive. He stepped back and looked at her. From today, things will be different between us. I will make sure you are treated like a queen here. She gave him a small smile. Thank you, sir. No, not sir anymore, he said, laughing gently. Call me Anslem when we are alone. She laughed softly in return. Inside, her mind was working fast. The closer she got to him, the more information she would get. Every smile she gave was part of her plan. From that day, everything changed. They were no longer just boss and nurse. Anslem began to take her everywhere inside the hospital. He showed her the parts of the building she had never entered before. He even allowed her to attend private meetings with him and some of his trusted partners. To him, she was now a partner in crime. But to Christabel, every moment with him was an opportunity to learn. She was storing every detail in her memory. Faces, names, conversations, hidden rooms, all the things she could use against him when the time came. One Saturday evening, Anslem called her and said, I want to show you something special. He picked her up from her apartment inside the staff quarters and drove her to the city. The roads were quiet and the street lights glowed softly. They arrived at a large mansion with high walls and shining gates. Inside, the place was like something from a magazine. Marble floors, golden curtains, and expensive furniture. "This is my home," said proudly. He handed her a small golden key. "You can come here anytime you want. This is now your home too." She looked at the key in her palm and smiled. "Thank you, Anslem. This means a lot." He touched her cheek gently. "I trust you more than anyone else in this world." She looked into his eyes and said softly, "You can trust me." But inside her thoughts were dark. "Yes, trust me, Anslem. Trust me so much that you wouldn't see it coming when I take everything from you." She was already thinking about the documents he might have hidden here, the computer files, and anything that could serve as evidence against him. That night, as Anslem drove her back to the hospital quarters, she kept staring at the lights of the city, the past people walking freely on the streets, and her chest was filled with pain. She remembered the women locked up in the hospital, some willing, some not, all trapped in the same cruel system. She had seen too much to walk away quietly. She told herself that her mission was not just to leave the hospital. It was to destroy Anslem and make sure the world knew the truth. Her life might be in danger, but her mind was made up. When she got back to her apartment, she locked the door and sat by the window. She could see the tall gates of the hospital from there. "Now I will gain new information," she whispered. "I will learn his secrets. I will take over this place and free every woman here. And when the time is right, I will send this man to his grave. I will kill him myself if I have to." Her voice was calm, but her eyes burned with determination. She knew the road ahead would be dangerous, but her heart was already set on fire. And on it, the sounds of the hospital at night, footsteps in the corridor, doors closing, distant voices filled her ears. This place was a prison, but she was no longer just a prisoner. She was a soldier on a mission. "Anslem," she said quietly to herself, "you think I'm your girlfriend. You think I'm your partner, but I'm the beginning of your end." She smiled faintly in the darkness, holding the golden key tightly in her hand. "I swear, I'll kill you, and when I do, this place will be mine." Thank you for watching the season 4 of our interesting story, The New Nurse. Hope you're really having fun from the story. Watch out for season 5. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video.